good right there. What's up, YouTube? It's Cam again. I had some video ideas I mentioned last time that I was gonna go through, and I wanted to do a little something different today. I know back in the day, if you ever was watching YouTube, you'll probably see a lot of story times. A lot of people still post a lot of story times, but like I said before, if you watch my latest video when I showed myself for the first time in years, I wanted to make everything either educational, something to inspire everybody. I talk a lot about God, and I'm not religious. I just want to break that down. But I have a relationship with God. I have a great relationship with Him, and it's been on my spirit to talk about a lot of the things that I've been through. Not too much, not too personal, but hopefully things that'll help people out, get them steered in the right direction, maybe inspire them, get them fired up a little bit. So I enjoy wearing my ECU stuff. It's comfortable, especially when I work out. I work from home, so I'm not really doing too much in terms of going out, trying to look expensive. I got some things that I enjoy wearing, expensive stuff, but just more so a fashion niche I got from my mom. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video. Like you've seen on the title, this one is gonna be about how I started my first business. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Stay tuned, get some popcorn, get some snacks, something. This is gonna be a pretty interesting video. Back in 2021, so 2020, rough year for everybody, obviously. That'll probably be for another story time going into that. But 2021, I had just got back from home. I was working with my dad. I couldn't go to school, couldn't afford to go to school during the COVID period, so I just went back home and I decided to make some money. Why am I gonna go spend some money when I can go make some money? So decided to go home, make some money. My dad, like I mentioned in the video before, if you watched that, if you haven't, no worries, he owns a moving business. Granddad had it since 92, 93, and from that point on, my dad took over the business, and when I was 11 years old, that's when I started working with my dad. I got my first paycheck, in a sense. I made like $73, $77, and he gave it to me cash. So that was big for me at 11 years old. So it definitely inspired and generated or helped propel me in the direction that I am today. And I'm very fortunate to be in a good position and working towards it. So it was a lot going on because I was in the midst of deciding if I wanted to get a car or not. I really wanted to get my car, bring it to campus, just drive around, because for 7 years to this point, it's going to be a video for another time, a very inspirational one, but I've been walking for 7 years, and for those years where I really walked was when I was in college. I walked about 30,000 steps without any sports, without any of that stuff included, and I was a dual sport athlete. I was the only dual sport athlete from ECU during the time that I was there, and I don't recommend it, but just got back to school. I talked to my track coach, talked to a lot of different people, was able to get back on the track team. However, I was looking to receive some money from the coaches. I did very well. We placed and medaled in different conference championships, stuff like that nature, regionals, all that stuff. I wasn't able to go to regionals when I was running. Didn't run enough, didn't run fast enough times, coming off a lot of injuries and stuff. But I was able to get back on the track team. I got a little bit healthier. I was also running at home while I was at home during COVID, and I was looking for some money. Wasn't able to come across any money, and at the time, getting myself back together, I didn't talk to any of my friends for 6 months. Didn't let nobody know I was at ECU for 6 months. So I was pretty much just in a mindset where I know I want to just elevate myself, not only in terms of being on the track team, running the times that I wanted to eventually run, but also find something to help me generate money, because it was bad. So I was also depressed during that period of time, going through a lot of mental stuff by myself, like I mentioned before, for about close to those 6 months, maybe a little bit less. And I was also trying to start my comic during that time, so that was a lot. I just remember I would also have some of my artwork So we were in the dorms, and I think I had moved into Legacy during that time, if anybody from ECU watches this ever. And when I was in Legacy, we had a little board that we can put thumb taps on, and just, I don't know, for anybody. They can do it to express themselves. There'll be a reminder up there from the different RAs, all stuff like that. So I decided to post put my art up there. So I was putting the thumb taps with my art up there. People would come by, write little notes and all that stuff. And, some people would introduce themselves to me and talk to me a little bit. But that was really the start of me wanting to even get back into the YouTube space and try to inspire people. So I was really depressed during that time. That helped out. When I was doing my art at the time, my schedule would be practice, online work, then the evening would be practice again once I got on the football team. So it was a lot of moving around for me, not really too much time to think until I went to go draw. So eventually I had got the full opportunity for football. So the coach, he didn't want me doing track. I don't know why. He was an Army guy. Whole story for another time. Didn't want me doing track, so I had to commit fully to football. So that became my schedule. Go to practice. We'll go to meetings early. After meetings early, maybe eat at the cafeteria, get ready for classes. After classes, back to the gridiron, prepping for meetings and stuff like that. After I prep for meetings, I go home and draw. Go to my dorm and draw. So when I would do that, drawing in my dorm, something had to change because my parents let me know they couldn't help me, assist me as much as they did. And I was on the borderline. I was literally so close to having to go back home because I had scholarship money that I got because I was able to get my grades up from switching my major, because I was an art major doing track, and it wasn't mixing well at all. So I decided to switch my major, and when I did, I got a little scholarship money from the last semester that I was at school. So I decided to utilize that money. Obviously, a lot of loans that I had to stack on that I qualified for, but still got to pay back, obviously. And good thing about that, it was a great thing that came up when I was looking at that stuff that allowed me to not have to pay it back. But that's a story for another time as well. I like to get into tangents if you don't know. But yes, so struggling in that sense, I had to find a way to make something happen. I had actually just got back after this period of time. I had moved into an apartment with my roommate. His name's TJ. He's like a brother. He's like a brother to me. I wouldn't even call him, a roommate or a friend. Blood couldn't make us any closer. So we moved in there together, and it was a great change of environment. So the next 6 months in 2021, I got closer with my friends in spring semester and stuff in that nature, and we were getting close again, and I was getting out of my headspace a little bit in terms of being depressed. And then once we moved back, I felt isolated again because those friends that I did have, they graduated. So they graduated, and once they did, I had my roommate TJ, but he was on a track team. So you ever been in a situation where you live in the same house with somebody, live in the same space, but it's like you don't know that person? So essentially that's what it was like with TJ, and also another roommate that I had as well. Because what I was going through, obviously only I could go through. Just like anything that anybody in the world goes through, only they can go through and decide to get through it. They can have assistance, they can have help, people can be there for them, but they got to decide to take the help, they got to decide to move forward. And that's something that I was going through, had growing pains. And my mom, like I said before, this is when my parents literally let me know they couldn't help me, they couldn't assist me with any work. So they couldn't assist me with any funds. I was down $1,300 already for the next semester. So spring, I got back into being with my friends. Fall of the next school semester, moved to the new apartment. Some of my friends graduated, and I had to find ways to make money and get myself together because my parents couldn't help me with the apartment. I wasn't on scholarship, none of that stuff, and it was very frustrating knowing how talented I was as an athlete, and I'll probably put some clips up there as well, that I couldn't get the funds. And it was just so much going on because we placed in conference in the 4x1, not a 2-mile horn, but if I wasn't there, we wouldn't have placed in the 4x1 because we had 2 400 guys. We had 1 sprinter, my teammate, that qualified for regionals, nationals, Olympic trials, talented guy. And if I wasn't there doing track and football, we wouldn't have been able to go to conference for the 4x1. It would have been just my teammate doing the 1 and 2 because that's what he did. And that actually brought in a little bit more for us in terms of sending people to the 4x1 for conference, regionals, stuff of that nature. So we did that, and I wasn't able to get money for track. So I was just searching and looking around in terms of other ways on campus, and I found something. It helped me out. It helped get the bills paid that need to get paid for the beginning of the year. I had like 4 months, 5 months to find something out, get it figured out, and I did. So I got the $1,300 taken care of, 14, 13, I don't remember exactly, but got it taken care of, and other things started piling up. Obviously you got rent that you got to get taken care of for the month. If you're on scholarship, that's taking you getting that and then some, having a little extra money. People coming by driving scat packs and doing this and got money, because of the scholarship. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's not even NILs. That's not even other ways that we don't need to get into. But yes, that's how they were providing, and I didn't have that. So I had to figure something out. I had to, be innovative. I had to find different ways. How can I get myself out of the space that I'm in? How can I get myself out of this hole? And that's why I want to tell the story, because there's a lot of people that's in situations, including myself now, that need that extra push. They might not have people there to tell them that. They might have to endure. There's a lot of times in life where you're going to have to endure a situation. You're not going to be able to complain. You can complain all you want, but that's not going to change the situation. It's not going to change your environment. You are the one that has to change your environment. You got to do that. You got to do what you got to do. And what I decided to do, I decided to start my own business. So when I decided to do that, I had actually, like I said before, I was thinking about buying a car because I had made around $10,000 working with my dad when I was home. I was deciding to buy a car, but I was like, how am I going to maintain this? I'm not going to be able to work because I'm going to be an athlete. I'm not going to be able to, I'm not on scholarship. I just tried to go that route and they weren't going to give me any money. Football wasn't going to give me any money. I was having to pay to be on the football team. I had to pay it for training table. I had to pay for other stuff. So what was I going to do? How was I going to get myself into a better living environment or a better situation? So what I decided to do was start my business. I decided buying a car. What I decided to do was I spent all that money, all that extra money on a printing press. And what I was able to press and print, stuff like this. I made this myself. Simple shirt, simple design, and it's not letters on it and stuff. I still wear this shirt to this day. Dope shirt, wear it with some J's, some New Balances, switch it up, got me some Army fatigue, or just, I can wear it as a vintage shirt. So I decided to do this. I got into it, and it helped out. Like I said, I was in a point where I was depressed. That last semester, I was depressed this semester, and this is what guided me and helped me get to a better position, not only financially, but mentally. Being able to talk to a lot of people, and I made a video about this short on my YouTube channel, but I thought it was a great story to tell. I put myself in such a better environment, not just being around people, but trying to provide value to people, learning about people. That was my trigger, because I may seem like a talkative person, I may seem very social, very outgoing, an extrovert, but trust me, I'm not. I can stay in the house by myself all day. I don't like to talk to people unless I'm bringing value, unless I'm super close to people or family, friends, whatever. But my circle is like this. I can count on one hand how many people I'm genuinely close to, and that's including my parents. It's including close people, because I'm just a very deep individual. So if I don't mesh in that level, I'm not going to parties, I'm not drinking, I'm not, into who has the best shoes, who has the best clothes, who can, bring in the most views, the type of stuff, the materialistic things that people are in under, literally that drive their life. I'm not that type of individual. I'm more into real connection. When I invest, I invest. If I go all in on something, I'm going all in on it. Like, I'm not playing any games. You know what I'm saying? So that's more so who I am. And that's what I had to really think about in terms of starting this business. So I got into the room, didn't really know how to work my press as much because I didn't really look into it. I just bought it knowing it was going to, eventually help me out. But it stayed under my bed, even at my dorm. It stayed under my dorm bed for months. I was like, when am I going to use this? And I just decided I had to change something. So I remember pressing my first shirt. And I might put a clip up because I don't have that shirt anymore. I don't even know what I did with that shirt, man. But yes, I literally pressed my first shirt. It was a Slam Dunk shirt. I made that shirt, made a shirt of the main character. I forgot his name. Shows you how much I watched that show. But yes, I forgot his name, but I made the shirt of him. It was like a collage of him in his school uniform, him playing basketball, dunking, I believe. And it was like a game changer for me. Like, when I pressed the shirt, it felt like a moment where you literally find a cheat code. Like, you put a cheat code in the game, say San Andreas, you're playing San Andreas, you put the cheat code in, you got unlimited health as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and you're just like, I'm not dying anymore. Oh my gosh, like, you found a cheat code. So this cheat code was the equivalent of actually being an adult now. That's what it was for me as an adult. Once I pressed that shirt, I was like, I'm literally printing money. I'm printing money. And I didn't have any social media. I didn't have any of that stuff. I literally, luckily, by the grace of God, I was able to go to the student center that we were at, and I met a ton of people. I did it for about 2.5, 3 years. I met at least 5,000 people, at least at the bare minimum. Doctors, CEOs, people that just donate money to the school, hundreds of thousands. They're just crazy people that I just met. And knowing to have a business mindset. My business mindset is I'm going to add value by getting to know the person. I want to know them, ask them questions, start a conversation. And that is how I sold 99% of my shirts. Having a conversation, building that. I went from 0 Instagram followers because I didn't have Instagram to almost 1,000 Instagram followers. Obviously, everybody's not going to follow you, and people looking at how many followers you got, they don't, it's crazy. But I've had at least 1,000 people on my page supporting, coming back. Some people donated just because I was able to express myself, talk to them, have a great conversation, and always making it about them. But you do want to make it about them as a salesman. How can it add value to them? And that's what propelled me in my other opportunity, as an insurance manager. It's a great opportunity because it helped take my sales game from starting my own business. It helped take it up a notch because now I've learned so many things and I'm so knowledgeable in a lot of different areas. And taxes, I'm a lot more knowledgeable in taxes than I was before, get into that opportunity. But I was never going to get there if God didn't place me in a position to have to start my business, which is meaning you have to go through adversity. People always say, pressure makes diamonds. Going through adversity is exactly that. And my saying for that is adversity equates to greatness. There's Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, Tagashi, if you want to go anime, manga, all that stuff. All these people, Akira Toriyama, they went through adversity with their shows, with their careers, with their life. And if you don't go through adversity, you're never going to it's not even about appreciating. It's about understanding the mentality. Because if you don't understand the mentality, before you get to where you need to get to, before you get to where you want, before you get wealthy, you're not going to be able to maintain it. A healthy state of mind, a wealthy state of mind is where you're going to want to be, and it's going to get you to where you want to be in life. So that's what propelled me. That's what helped me out. That's what made me grow as a person. And as an insurance manager, I've made $10,000 in a week. $10,000 in a week, literally. Like, literally, I'm in a blessed position. I made $10,000 in a week. I was able to put myself from not driving for 7 years to driving. You know what I'm saying? And I had to do it by myself. So that's the type of mentality that can literally drive you to propel you in that position to be of higher knowledge and understanding. And once you get to a certain standard, you're going to realize how to maintain that standard. Because once you go down, it's going to be a lot of, oh man, you were so high up. What happened? From other people and all that, if you decide to post your life and all that stuff. But when you just keep it to yourself and literally micromanage you, check yourself, hold yourself accountable, be responsible, you're going to be able to maintain that throughout your life. And that's business, that's, career, it's whatever you want to do. And that's the importance of being able to go through adversity. And that was a very struggling time for me, and that's what helped me get out of it. I met so many people that to this day has helped me and has been a pillar in my mental, even if I don't talk to them anymore, even if I don't communicate with them. And it's changed my way of thinking. It's changed my way of my drive, really. I don't want to hold you guys too long. I just thought this would be a good little story time to hopefully motivate, hopefully change how people think. And it's a day-to-day thing. Literally, it's yourself. Like, there's a difference between scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on YouTube all day. It's the difference. It's the difference between want to get out of the bed at 6 a.m. when you're not supposed to get out of the bed at 6 a.m. when you can just sleep in. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that you need to do and learn that's going to prep you, because it's going to be other adverse moments. And it's prepping you for that. It's prepping you to be like, I've been through this. I handled this before. It's easy. And get through it without any struggle, without any problem. So that's what I wanted to go over today. How I started my business, how it's helped me make $10,000 weeks, and then $3,000, $4,000 weeks, and how it's going to continue to drive me in my next projects, my monitor. And hopefully it helps drive you guys. Hopefully this message helped somebody in some capacity. If anybody comes across these videos, I don't know. I know the other one did about 33 views, which is great. I appreciate anybody commenting. But yeah, leave a comment, leave a like. And it's not to put me in a better position. I'm really not worried about that. Trust me. I know I'm going to get to where I need to. But it's really to hopefully inspire you guys, inspire people that see this, and get to the next level together. Let's make it together. But anyway, that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next time.